In this video, we will see how to handle a work order when you have noticed that the entire order is non-conforming. And so here we have work order 462, and we see that it has been through the laser, the deburr, press brake, PM machine, powder paint. And now when it reached quality realized that there was an issue with this part and that all 100 pieces need to be remade. So the first thing we want to do is reset where the work order is at. So in this instance, we're going to reset it back to the laser. To do that, we will click on Reset. Now we will click on the button for the operation we want to reset this. Work order 2. Now you will have to do them in order. So if we want to put it back at the laser, we can click Laser. And then if we want it at Deburr, we can click Deburr. But we'd had to first click Laser then Deburr. But in this instance, we want to begin the process completely from the beginning. So we want to reset it to where it's at the laser. And none of the operations have been complete. We can now go back to view the part. And here we see the 100 pieces are at the laser. The next thing that we have to do is we have to go to the work order, so there's work order 462, and we need to edit the work order. Now we can see that these requirements have been ordered, and these are the requirements that were used on the first 100 pieces, and then we noticed a non-conformance. So we will need more 18 gauge, more of the black powder paint, and more of these PIMS. So to add these back to this order so that they can be reordered and/or be pulled from stock, we want to go through and on any of the requisitions we need to have. For it to remake this work order, we need to click on the Reorder this rec button. So here we see the 18 gauge steel. We need to add this back to this order. So we'll click this button. When we scroll down, we'll notice the 18 gauge has been added. We also want to add the powder paint. Click the button and we see the powder paint has now been added. And then finally, we're going to add the pins. So now we see here are the original 3 material requisitions that were ordered. Then we notice a non-conformance. We're added the material requisitions back to this order. Now when we go back to the part, we're going to notice that it is at a not started status. And the reason is because we have one or more material requirements that are not in our facility and have not been received yet. So now your materials manager would order materials as normal. By going to View Requirements, and here are the 3 requirements we just added. We'll go ahead and order these, so that we can process this order on through. We're just gonna order them all from the same vendor for this example. Now when we return to our work order 462, we'll notice that these 3 added requirements now have a PO number, but they have not been received. We'll go ahead and receive these requirements. Now when we return to our order, we see that it has been started and it is at the laser screen. When we look at the work order, we notice here are the 3 requisitions we added back to the work order under PO 1145, and here are the 3 original ones under 1141. So we go back to the part. We see that it's at the laser screen. We can look at the laser work center screen. And we'll see work order 462 for 100 pieces now ready to go back to the laser. And so that's how to start a work order completely over and add the material requirements back to the work order.